Sim Racers, and welcome back to live stream. I'm so happy to be back in live streaming again with you guys. And tonight it's going to be a special live stream. I don't know if we will have time to also drive and do some sim racing. Maybe much later. But we will start by. Actually, I want to show you the crazy trip to Nurburgring and back that we did with all the, most of the Kunos team, and most importantly, Alfredo, my colleague and friend that was together with me through the whole trip. We have some photos, so what I intend to do is, show you some photos, some videos, tell you and explain you a little bit what it's all about, how we did the trip, what we visited, and so on and so on. So this is what we are going to mainly do at least initially for the first part of this live stream. What and how to start? First of all, again, I'm so happy to be back. And so happy to see all of you in the chat joining the live stream. I know that you guys probably want to see more sim racing stuff usually, but I also know that you enjoy a little bit of real driving, right? Because that's what we do. That's our passion after all. Okay, so before starting, how are you doing, guys? All good? I know that it has been almost 2 or 3 weeks without live streams. So again, big apologies for that, but lazy dev, it is what it is. Yeah, long week, everybody. Long week also for me because obviously coming back from the road trip, it's always a little bit, how to say, depressing, but also great memories. So yeah, fantastic. It was probably one of the best road trips ever, if not the best. All right, so let's start, right? Let's start. So let me check what to do. So first of all, I will also want to show you the roads we made. So let's go and do this. So this is our usual Google map. We start somewhere at Brescia, go and get Aki from school, and then we are starting our trip through the B roads of that go around South Garda Lake, and this is actually what we did for the most of the trip. We tried to avoid as much autostradas, highways, autobahns, you name it, as much as possible. We tried to do as much B roads as it was possible, as long as they were interesting. So if the B roads were not that much interesting, we would go and do the autostrada or the autobahn, whatever. If the B roads were interesting, we would just get out from the B roads and from the highways and do the B roads again. So we started right immediately going through Garda Lake, and somewhere around here, practically, we were actually driving. I don't have any photos from that, but it was pretty cool. We were actually driving, okay, and we see a couple of cars parked at the side of the road, and we see people outside of the cars, looking at the sky like that, and we're like, what the fuck is going on? Why are those people, are watching the sky and what's going on? But anyway, we just continue, and luckily enough, with me and Alfredo, we had our walkie-talkies, so it's like, did you saw those guys? Yes. Why are they, watching the sky? What's going on? I cannot see anything. I cannot see nothing. And there was a little bit of high clouds, so nothing. And like 1 minute after, we hear an incredible high volume sound, and practically this appears above us. So this thing appears above us. Those are Strasse Tricolori. It's the aeronautic demonstration team from Italy, and they were doing a demonstration over Desenzano, and I had completely forgot about that. And they were doing this exactly at the moment that we started our journey. So, of course, you can imagine that we stopped, right? And we had a look at this, and it was like, oh my God, this is the best possible way to start the trip. And it was really, really cool. Anyway, you can just search Strasse Tricolori Desenzano, and you will find all the possible videos. Really, really amazing show. And as you can imagine, our trip started also with about half an hour delay, because of course we stopped at the side of the road and we also had a look at it, and it was very, very cool. Anyway, off we go from there, and of course first stop to eat, because as Italians, what are you going to do? Eat. And we have our first how to say, size confrontation of the trip, because obviously what are you going to find outside of restaurants and pretty much everywhere in Italy? A big SUV. So there you go. The big SUV, you know, and we just put the two Miatas. The yellow one is from Alfredo, the black one is mine, and yeah, typical stuff. All right, anyway, so here we go. My son Aki is finally 18 years old, and here he is driving the Miata. Of course, he doesn't still have the full license, so he can only drive in Italian roads with me in the car. But he's already driving, and we, you know, practice, and he's great. So the first part of the trip was really cool for me and relaxing, because I didn't have to drive. Amazing skies, as you can see, and we are getting closer to the Alps, massive mountains. And of course, at some point, going through Austria, the highway is, everybody is stopped, you know, and even if it's really nice to go through the highway in Austria, too much traffic, and the navigator says that, you know what, you are not going to gain any time at all, but there is a secondary road that you can get and pretty much use the same time. And of course, what we do, absolutely go outside the highway, and we start going to the B roads. Let me show you more or less where we are. So the first part of the trip through the Italy is in Autostrada highway. It's a very nice highway here. It's not just straight, it has some amazing mountains left and right of the highway. And then you get into into Austria. And so at some point we find out that there is no use to stay on the highway, even though it's always very beautiful. And of course, out we go, and we start with the B roads, which is very nice. Yes, Brennero Guidofoc is very beautiful as a highway. It's one of those highways that you know, it doesn't gets boring. There is so much to see, even though, and there are very slight turns, and it's always not too much traffic. It's always very nice to drive over the highway of Brennero. As I said, wonderful skies, wonderful weather, and you know, you have to stop for you know, prostate problems as usual. So everywhere we stopped, it was really great in Austria. This is one of the best B roads to have a go. If you ever have the possibility to actually visit Austria, I highly recommend that you visit it in, you know, from west to east or from east to west. Going from north to south, it's a very short trip. The roads are very nice, but it's a very short trip. But there are some roads here in that part that are absolutely mind-blowing. If you have the possibility to do it, it's really amazing. Anyway, keep on going, keep on traveling. Wonderful roads. And let me see. Yes, we arrived practically at our first stop in Germany, and we slept somewhere around here. A very nice place, small river going through. You know, it's one of those small villages that you can find pretty much everywhere. The hotels are very affordable, and you can find pretty much everything there, and you can find many small villages like that. Only thing to take care, you have to arrive at a certain early time, because otherwise you won't find anything open for dinner. So by all means, don't calculate to arrive, I don't know, around 9 o'clock in the evening or 10 o'clock. You will find nothing to eat. It's going to be terrible. So make sure to arrive to your destination at around 6 or 7 o'clock, so that you have some time to find open kitchens and eat something. It's always the case with South Germany, so except of course big towns, but we're talking about small villages. So make sure you do that. Anyway, nothing more to say about that. Sleep. We don't even have many photos here, and then start again from here, and off we go to the Nurburgring. Not much to say about here. Photos, nothing. I mean, the first thing we saw in Autobahn Nurburgring, of course, traffic, but we saw this very nice old Alfa Romeo, and it was red, yellow, black, so we just positioned our cars to make the German flag. Yeah, disappointing, but anyway. And it was still faster than us, so yeah, slow Miatas are slow. Most of it was Autobahn, because on the second part of the journey we wanted to arrive to Nürburgring as soon as possible. So early in the morning, wake up and some Autobahn, and then we arrived at the Nürburgring. You know, usual stuff. Always an amazing place. And of course, first thing, I mean, unpack, and here you can see that the Miatas can get 2 people, 2 helmets, and everything else. This is, you know, Tetris experience from yours truly, and you can get everything in a pack, and you can go for a long journey of 1 or more weeks without big problems, let's say. And it is important, of course, to fit everything here, because you don't want to have anything inside the cabin. First of all, because there is no space, and second of all, because you want to be able, for example, the 2 helmets can go behind your heads, but then you cannot uncover the capot, the roof of the car. So you want to fit everything in there, and it is possible. Anyway, next morning, while the Porsche appears, those are the very nice houses you can find at Ferien Park, it is called. And it's a very nice, let me show you actually where it is, because who knows, you might want it. Actually, the old Miatas are incredibly practical, to be fair. Alright, so here we are at the Nürburgring. Let me show you where the Ferien Park is. So Ferien Park is not that far away from the main track. Okay, so this is Nürburg here, and this is the famous fuel station of the Nürburgring. Okay, hello Bjorn. And just around here you have the Ferien Park, which is let's say something like bungalows, but it's actually complete full houses where you can rent, and they are surprisingly affordable, and you can rent it with, you know, your team or your friends, and the houses are pretty big. and it's all proprietary of the Nurburgring, official. So it's very good. It's very good. Anyway, so Nurburgring days start, you know, and first thing we see outside the ferry plaque is this van with L plan and GP2 engine. So that gives you an idea already how the kart culture goes into those places. You will always find something incredibly funny, something incredibly amazing, and so on. Anyway, so first day, gonna race. This is me, all right. This is Alfredo. Those are our own Miatas, and this is the whole situation. All right, so starting, and of course, probably some of you have already saw that in some social network that I posted. This is my small Miata, and this is a behemoth dinosaur of Audi, the e-tron GT R whatever. I don't even remember, but it is really, really big. The camera obviously helps a little bit because it is wide angle, so it makes it even big, and it makes the Miata even smaller, but it is really big. I can tell you that the wheels are like 21 or 22 inches, and they arrive like at half of my window. So yeah, this is how it is. Anyway, let's continue. Yeah, it's looked like a Photoshop joke, but it's pretty much close to reality. Of course, pressures, and first bad news is that, actually the good news is that we go into the track, we start doing some laps, the track gets closed because the usual accident, and then we start again, but it was too late. We didn't do any more laps that day. We did some extra laps the next day, and already with my son in, so two persons, it was my second lap, very safe lap, very cool lap, nothing to push too much, but already with good practice. We had a 9.08 flat, which with one yellow flag, which I think it was already a very, very good lap, and I was extremely confident that that was the case. We could do the new record and go under 9. Unfortunately, no action cam footage, because the action cam was erroneously configured like as a dash cam, and so every day would erase all the footage that had registered and start from a clean SD card again. We didn't find out but only in the third day, and we were like, oh my god, this is a disaster. So we don't have any footage from the dry laps, but doesn't matter. At the end, we didn't manage to do any other dry lap at all. So we just did 2 dry laps. That was it. So off we go, of course. And what do you do if you don't have any more laps to do? We just start, going around into all the little villages, all the little B roads around Nurburgring, and there is so many good things to watch. Highly recommend. So, for example, first of all, I have to tell you, go to the Nurburgring. It's an amazing experience. Second of all, if you haven't tracked your car, if you don't have any experience from track days, don't lap the Nürburgring. Don't just go there with your car and go into the Nürburgring. It is dangerous. It is very tricky. It is very much faster than any other track you have lapped. In usual, normal circuits, you're gonna get 1 or 2 fast turns of around 150, 160, maybe 200 kilometers per hour, and all the other turns are like 60, 100, 120. Every other track. At the Nürburgring, you get a couple of turns that are around 100 kilometers per hour, and all the other turns are uphill, downhill, bumps, kinks, everything, and they are all extremely fast, over 120, 150, 200. Even a Miata, you're gonna do a couple of turns at almost 200 kilometers per hour. It's mind-blowing, and the Miata is really slow on the straights. So if you have any good car and you don't have any track experience, my advice is don't lap, go there, do a taxi lap, do maybe some training. They also have, all the companies there have an amazing training programs, and most importantly, drive around the small villages all around it. It's fantastical. It's amazing. You can't really understand how beautiful it is all around the small villages and B roads of the Nurburgring, because all of those roads have been designed by the same people that designed the actual Nurburgring track. So they all have the same flow, they all have amazing turns, and so on and so on. Of course, you won't go as fast because obviously there are public roads, and police is also very attentive, and they can actually take your car away if you're doing stupid things. But you're gonna have an amazing fun, and most importantly, you're gonna have anyway an amazing fun from the car culture and people you're gonna meet, and everybody usually is very, very happy and friendly, from the cars you're gonna watch, and so on and so on. So for example, well, here's the Miata in one of those B roads, my son taking photos as usual, and me, considering all the errors I did in life, and so on, and of course the errors that I did in life. And this is Alfredo arriving at the spot, and Alfredo, updating his social networks. And this is me doing some training at Simone Trevision, which is our 3D lead artist for circuits. He's responsible for all the circuits that you're driving, and he wasn't visiting or actually driving on track since 7 years, I think. And he's always the guy that he under promises everywhere. No, I want to go slow, I don't want to push, and we have to see, no, I'm very careful. So, and then you put him on the car, you tell him a couple of things to do, and he's go like crazy. He's very, very good driver. And this is him at the wet Nurburgring GP track, pretty much overtaking everybody. Very, very good driver as usual. Those are the Miatas spying on the prototype cars that had the track in the morning, usual stuff. And usual photos of the Miatas. And yes, of course, you know that there is the BTG, so bridge to gantry. We had to change this because my lap time was so fast. It was a 6:52 seconds, very fast lap time. Unfortunately, it was beer to sleep, but still, very, very valid lap time. And somebody, decided to write it on the car. This is the Miatas. You probably have seen that on the social network, doing, invoking rain around the Porsches because we had enough to get overtaken in the straights on the Nordschleife GP. Yeah, we are that stupid. And this is a nice Ferrari SF90, saying hi to us, leaving the track. I mean, you can see so many incredible cars on the Nürburgring, and everybody's so friendly. You just go there and say hi, and people usually are very friendly and very happy to talk to you and show you, their cars or whatever, and exchange experience and so on. Let me find the other photos. Yeah, that's the black one is my Miata. So what did we have here? Yeah, we talk about that. And yeah, so that was as I told you, we only did 2 dry laps, and then it started raining practically. And so actually I'm missing something here, and I don't know where it is. Yes. So practically what you can do, what else you can do on the Nurburgring? Well, first of all, they have an amazing indoor karting track, and of course the whole Kunos team rightfully, gathered on the go-kart circuit, and we just went into it. The cost is really affordable, much less, by the way, than Italy, for example. And of course we started, driving, and there are some photos. There's Simone, this is Davide, and this is Nick Turner, and this is me, this is Luca Sodano from the sounds, and everybody else. The end of the karting session, we did multiple races, and that's why Marco now is showing Kuno Simulazioni, is that the whole team was from first to last. We have a gap of 0.2 of a second, the whole team. That's how Kunos goes. And not only you had a gap of 0.2 of a second, but the whole team got into and filled all the grid of the best times for the week. So all the best times for the week were Kuno Simulazioni people. Yeah, and of course lots of silliness, because who else could have done that? I'll let you, just by yourself, who is this Spider-Man guy? Spider-Pork, probably. Anyway, let's move on. I need to have a video of the team. Very nice little track, electric go-karts with also engine sounds. Pretty cool. And of course, yours truly, pole position, best lap, Alfredo second, and Aki third. But as I said, the whole team separated by just 0.2 of a second, and we filled the best lap times of the week, and very cool stuff. So yes, of course I win. I won. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, the BOP is improving, absolutely. Let's move on. So what else did we do there? Right, so we were there, and true story, many years ago, probably like 10 years ago, I think. I don't remember exactly. Anyway, many years ago, I had my first serious accident on a racetrack, and last, hopefully, fingers crossed, with my M3 E36 back in the times. Practically, I was lapping the Nordschleife, and they closed the track for a usual accident, and it was very late in the day, so practically everybody thought that that's it. They weren't going to open the track anymore. It was a track day, and we were actually organizing with my friends back then to find out where we were going to have dinner, practically. And just as we were about to go away from the parking lot of the Nurburgring and go for dinner, the track opens for just 15 minutes, and you know how it is, all the friends together, last lap. And by the way, it's for the locals, it's bad luck to say last lap on the Nurburgring. You never say last lap. So in we go for a last lap. I do my out lap because it was track day, as I told you, and we launched from the long straight. I go down the long straight under the bridge, and as I'm arriving on the first S's at over 220 kilometers per hour M3, I find rain. I find rain, and I find practically a small river crossing the track. Used semi-slick tires. I felt the whole car going up, practically on the film of water, massive aquaplaning, and the M3 just, spun 90 degrees and went straight at about around 160 kilometers per hour. Luckily, I only just scrubbed the guardrail. Had to pay 2 guardrails because, as you know, on the Nurburgring you pay the guardrails that you bend or destroy. And I just ended up in the middle of the track, and that was it. Very, very lucky. Unfortunately, the M336, the vent of the radiator is connected to the engine by a belt. And even though there wasn't massive damage, the scrub of the front end towards the guardrail had pushed the radiator towards the back of towards the engine, and with it also the vent. And that meant that the vent was bent and couldn't rotate, and of course the belt is connected to the engine, and the engine couldn't rotate, which meant that the car, I wasn't able to start the car again. So we had to get the car out with a truck, and took it to a mechanical over there, and so on and so on. So big story, long story, I won't go on. But since then, I never did a last lap ever. I was always finishing my laps before the end of the closure of the track. And most importantly, I never went into the Nürburgring, wet Nürburgring, especially when, the conditions were changing. I just never felt, confident to do it. And since we are there to have fun and not practically, properly racing and be competitive, I've never thought it was important. But as usual, I've met my friend Wilhelm Weritz. You know him from Turn 1 team, Copy. You remember our races together, the endurance races together. He's a real racing driver. He's a ring taxi driver as well. He drives the M5 on the ring at any weather. He drives GT3 cars at any weather, of course. And he's always, I have great respect for the guy, and he's always pushing me to become a better driver. And he's like, Aris, you are great, you have amazing control of the car. Anyway, that's what he said. And you have to get in the track when it rains. I don't want to hear any excuses. You just have to get in the track. Don't go fast. Take your time. You won't have any issues, and it's good for you. You're gonna learn new things, and push yourself. You have to always push yourself, whatever. And I'm like, okay, we'll see about that. And luckily enough, we get George, the great mechanic from Apex, which I say hi, and we also have his Twitch and YouTube channel, but I don't have them here with me right now. I will show you, because by all means go and subscribe to his Twitch channel. In the winter he also streams Assetto Corsa sim racing, because in the winter in the Nürburgring you don't have nothing to do. But anyway, that's another long discussion. And he said, you know what guys, I will show you the very safe wet lines. Of course I know Misha, but Misha wasn't there. He was on holidays on the days we went. I met with him and have some drinks on the last trip a couple of months ago. Misha is great. Misha is amazing. But unfortunately, this time I wanted to meet him and you know, go for a ride together, but he wasn't there. So instead, we just met with George, and George very nicely said, you know what, I'm here with my old Golf daily car, has good tires. I will show you the wet Nordschleife lines. And of course, we jump into the opportunity, and I want to also show you a little bit, because I think it's a very nice thing to learn how different it is, the line on the Nordschleife. It's not just, you know, the wet line. It's the very safe wet line in order to stay safe and not have difficulties to go into, you know, big aquaplaning or big slides if you don't know what to do. You don't have to go fast, but you can enjoy a lot the track even at relatively very slow speeds and be extremely safe. So, George tweets, thank you, John, my man, you are amazing. You're amazing. Let me show you. So George is ahead of us with his old Golf, but very good tires, and we just have to, you know, follow what he does. Now again, this is not a fast lap by all means. This is not even the fastest line you can get, but it is very important in order to stay safe and do your first lap into a very wet track drift lap. Look at how slide it is. This is in third gear on the Miata. It has,
yeah, it's so slippery.
It has 120. I mean, I want to show you again. Look at this, third gear on the Miata. Just went a little bit inside. It was drizzling. Third gear.
Yeah, it's so slippery. You need to even be careful when you're doing stupid things.
So this is a normal aspirated 1.6 Miata. It has a little bit of mods, maybe 120 horsepower or 122. I don't know. I haven't even done it.
When you're crossing the racing line, it gets so slippery.
No, it's 1.6. It's really slow. It has a very, very aggressive dry alignments and setup, very aggressive, and we are running right now almost semi-slick tires. Are the Nankans NS2R. They are not probably semi-slick tires, but they have the cut of the semi-slicks, but they don't have the grip, the massive grip on the semi-slick. So it's in between of a very good summertime and a semi-slick, and they are not very good. They're not good at all on the rain. So, and as you can see in third gear, and by the way, I have a kind of a tune into the engine that it doesn't have any torque at low revs, because I like it to be very picky. It's just for fans and for the
on the outside. This is what you have to do here when it rains.
Yeah, it's just for fun, and I like the sensation of having, you know, to raise the revs in order to go fast. And still in third gear,
look at this, how he crosses the line straight.
the car completely slides into this kind of track. Look at how we cross the racing line and go completely outside. Again, this is not the fastest line, but it is the most safe line to do when it's drizzling in the Nurburgring. As you can see, it's wet, not wet. The track has all the oil and rubber from two 12-hour races 2 days before. So it's very, very slippery on the racing line. Look at how we cross the racing line and go completely outside. The difference in grip is very, very big. And of course, silliness, let's go into the racing line and drift. Have to change video. Because of course, why not? What is that screen? No, it's 2D Android radio.
It wasn't very elegant.
It's not standard.
It was fun, but it was fun the same.
I have a little bit of a fetish with good interiors of cars because I like to, live inside the car. So I'm very careful what choices I do for the interiors.
Just moves around there.
Yeah, I love having customized interiors and dashes. So, of course, with the Miata, I have to go into the racing line in order to get some slippery road and do, the drifts.
And find out how the grip it is. Yeah.
But again, watch George, the lines he takes. Just stays a little bit outside. All you need is having, the outside wheels touching the non-rubbered part of the track, and you are in a very safe place. Look at how he's going to cross the road.
Now we're gonna cross the line here, so it's gonna be slippery again. Look at this, he's braking straight and crosses it.
So this is very important. You don't cross the racing line and keep on, turning and braking. You cross straight and braking straight, and then after you finish your braking, you start turning. Again, here we stay way out of the racing line because here is very slippery if you stay on the racing line.
This is very, very tricky, very, very tricky. I've seen many people going straight here when they're crossing the line.
Nurburgring channel is very correct about that. Drifting is absolutely forbidden. What we do here is not practically drifting. First of all, as you can see, the track is empty, right? Second of all, it's very slippery, it's it's wet, and if you don't do very prolonged drifts, they don't have issues. But if you try to drift pretty much everywhere because you have a drift car or whatever, you're gonna get a ban from the track.
The corner that stays always wet, always wet.
Yeah,
so
let me stop here.
Again.
This corner here, the inside of it never sees sun. The sun never shines into the inside of that corner. So, because you have kind of a mountain on top of it, and you have very big trees, very tall trees on top of it. And if it has been rained, or if you go very early in the morning for a lap, and there is, humidity, there is always a very big probability that at the apex of this turn you're going to find a wet tarmac. So be very, very careful. Usually on this turn you stay outside and do a very late apex, so you do have time to check if the inside is wet and slippery. Unfortunately, many people, and this is where you can find also all those accidents on YouTube on that corner, many people do an early apex. They don't know that the turn, gets even narrower and more difficult towards the exit. So they go for an early apex and they find themselves very fast to the late apex when the turns goes even narrower, and they have to raise their foot. They find also the wet tarmac, and the cars, even front wheel drive cars, they will just go into oversteery and they don't know how to correct it, and so on and so on. Normally what you do is you stay outside,
because it always stays wet.
Okay, you stay outside and you start going inside where I'm pointing now. This is the late apex, and this is where you get the wet tarmac. Unfortunately, many people that don't know the track go inside like this, and they find themselves so closed already on the inside. They also find the wet tarmac, and disaster happens. Stay outside, take a late apex, and you shouldn't have problems. Now this is the part, of course, of the Nurburgring that is long, straight. Pretty much all the cars here, those turns are proper turns for the fast cars. Miatas practically stay on the inside, not when it rains, stay on the inside, because we try to do as less distance as possible, because those turns are not turns for us, they are straights. We go that slow, and at the end of this very long straight, practically we are losing, the 1.6 engine loses speed instead of gaining. So we're losing speed. So this is where we are losing, like, I don't know, 20 seconds of lap time. But it is what it is. Anyway, let's move on here because there's nothing to see. A Porsche is arriving, so a nice Boxster is arriving. Cayman, sorry. And of course, I want them to get passed through, because after they go through, it's drift time. Ying. And you can see here, even the Porsche is flashing the blinkers because he liked the. Let me show you. Look at the lights. They like because he just liked the drift. So I mean, yeah, it's. I mean, there was nobody there, and just small drifts a little bit.
Porsche likes drifting.
And of course, we knew what we were doing. It has to be told, the Miata is extremely controllable in such conditions. It has so much little torque, and if you have learned the car, it's no big deal. Now this is getting interesting here. We go into the very twisty part of the Nordschleife, where the Miatas actually are very, very fast on the dry. This is where we gain a lot of lap time, even at much faster cars. And it's very nice to see George what kind of lines he is following. Now, of course, we have to wait for the Ford Focus to go through. And now, as you can see, he's crossing straight again and goes to the outside.
100% outside, dude.
And again, look at this.
Also very
crossing straight, braking straight.
When he crosses the ideal line.
And again outside.
Outside.
Alright, so let's move forward a little bit. Usual, you know, curve for videos and such. So let's go sideways. But it was just a little power drift. You have probably already seen the majestic video on the second lap from me and Alfredo drifting together through the sunset. You know, it's one of those experiences that you get once in a lifetime probably, and they will always remain with you. Let me see if I have the video here. Where is it? I don't have it here, but I can show you a better drift on the second lap. I will post the second lap through a dedicated video. It was more fun, and on that second lap I can show you a much better drift on the usual famous turn. So let's go here and have a look. Yeah, so nice.
That's how you did?
Anyway, so it was a special moment. We had a lot of fun, and most importantly, you know, you fight your dragons, as they say. And I am now knowing that there is a line on the Nurburgring where you can stay very safe, and you don't have to push, you know, to stay fast for whatever reason. You don't have to do that when it's raining. You just have to have fun, and you're learning extra things, and you can do it in a very relaxed way. I have to say that through both of the laps, after 2 turns, I was extremely relaxed, knowing that, you know, you don't have to stay on the racing line, which is always very slippery. You don't know if you're gonna manage to make it through the braking zone or not, and so on and so on. So very, very good experience. And yeah, more to push and do stuff like that. And okay, so let's move on. Fabio, verissimo, verissimo, ma Misa è molto bravo a mostrare questi video, ha fatto anche diversi video specificamente per la linea bagnata, diciamo, su Nurburgring, che è molto importante. I was saying how important it is. Also, Misa is doing this kind of videos showing the wet line, and it is extremely important because, as you can see, everywhere in the Nurburgring, the guardrails are like 2 meters away from the tarmac. So even a single easy mistake can create big troubles and damages. So it's very important to know what to do and how to do it. And even more important, again, I will underline that, go there, don't try to do things you don't know. Get some tutoring, get some taxi laps, get the locals to help you. It costs money, yes. It costs the same money as you doing your own laps, more or less, or even less possibly. But you're gonna have the same fun times by taking an instructor with you or by doing a taxi lap. It's the same fun, I guarantee you. It's the same fun as if doing your own laps when you are experienced. When you're not experienced, it can be frustrating, it can be scary, or it can be painful and very costly. So if you don't have enough other track days experience, think about those words. It's very important. Okay, so what else you can do, as we said, on the Nürburgring? Well, first of all, yes. No, wait, not that. Well, as I said, there are some great cars to look at. So, for example, usual GT3, RS, MR, whatever, and usual old M3s, but completely, nothing in it, just because race car. One of the rules into the Nürburgring is that if you see someone on your mirrors, whatever cars they are driving, whatever you might think, just move out of the way. You always go to the right and people overtake you to the left. This is a rule, but move out of their way because there are locals or people that are lapping the ring for thousands of laps, and you don't know what those cars, what kind of mods they have, what kind of tires they have, and especially the problem between the steering wheel and the seat of the car might have thousands and thousands of laps into the Nürburgring, and they are in full hot lap mode, and it doesn't matter if they drive something like that and you have a Porsche, they will just overtake you incredibly fast. So just move out of their way. That's another very nice McLaren here. I think it's the 650. Another GT3 RS. There was the 50 years of BMW M cars, and there were some particular design choices, I would say. I mean, yeah, great cars and all, but anyway, usual fuel station of the Nürburgring where everybody goes to fuel, and you can see the most amazing cars of your life. The experience is always incredible. Words will always fail me. I cannot tell you what it is to you just sit there, you go there for breakfast or whatever, fill your car up, park your car into the next to it, the parking lot, and just watch and see whatever it comes in. You know, like that, like this. And of course prototypes, because why not? The guy is not very happy. You can see his face here maybe. But, you know, they are used to it, and they're used to people, you know, taking photos of them. This thing was completely empty and make some incredible noises. This thing had one of the most amazing body colors I've seen the 992 GT3 in. Another wonderful little car. 458 Pista and an SF90, because why not? You know, and everybody's there, you know, and you just go there. Hi, how you doing? Great car. Oh, thank you. It's like this and like that. And how many laps do you have? And what did you do? And what? I mean, people are there to talk about cars, you know, talk about cars. You cannot do this everywhere else. People are like, you know, they are afraid to talk because they know that nowadays society is not so happy about cars, or they just don't care or whatever. Everybody over there is just there to talk about cars and enjoy the cars. This is a McLaren 565 all carbon. Every single piece of body panel is carbon fiber. Unbelievable. This is a prototype of Ferrari something Tributo with some strange rear wings, with usually they don't have, maybe I don't know. Again, the guy is not very happy to see us. So I'm telling you guys, if you go there, you don't have to lap. You're gonna enjoy so much of car culture, of strange cars, you're gonna see cars that you'll never be able to see in your life, and it is really great. Anyway, what else? Yes, so yes, of course, at some point, you know, end of the Nurburgring days, so we had to take a couple of photos of our cars, and we started the trip back to home, and we decided to do the romantic Strasse. It's a great road. It's called Romantic Strasse. It goes through some amazing villages and roads through the west and south Germany, because of course Miatas, hairdressers, all that stuff. So of course we're going to do the Romantic Strasse. And so let me show you a little bit of that return trip. So first of all, the conditions and the final boss, you know. So final boss, those are the conditions that we had into all the B roads with monsters like that, you know. And I can assure you, with the semi-slick, it wasn't that easy, you know. So yeah, and the only even inside the galleries, it wasn't dry, you know. And anyway, let me show you again. Where are we? Okay, so yes, no, sorry. So first part was arriving at Cochem, which is just underneath the Nurburgring. It is an amazing tourist little village with amazing castles and a great river. Wonderful. Cochem also is special to me and Marco Massaruto, the co-founder of Kunos, because it was our very first Kunos mission to the Nürburgring, me and him together in top secret again mission. Assetto Corsa was not released yet, and one of our very first licenses was from Glickenhaus team, and they were running their very first prototype, the P45, at the Nurburgring 24 hours, and we had done the physics for the car and part of the graphics, so you could only drive the car from the bonnet cam. And so Fanatec gave us a sim rig that we've put into the lounge of Glickenhaus on top of the Nürburgring pits, and invited people from the Glickenhaus team could drive the actual car into the simulator. And me and Marco were staying into a hotel at Cochem, and it was really amazing times. I still remember that we went into the hotel, and the receptionist saw us, take us to the room, and he opens the door of the room, and the room was like, I don't know, 3 meters by 3 meters, something like that, with 2 beds in. It wasn't even very clean. We were like, this is where we have to stay. And that was it. So yeah, but it was special. It was our very, very first mission, top secret for Assetto Corsa. And of course, one of those was those memories, Great. The village was amazing. The village was really beautiful. We also had the possibility to watch the Aston Martin Valhalla, incredible car. I don't have a video from the Nürburgring, but I do have a video here. It's I think it was here. Let me check. No, I don't have it. Anyway, amazing car to watch. Really, really cool. Okay, so we move away from actually, let me also show you the trip. I think it was here. Yes, exactly. So this was Cochem here, Cochem, I think it's called. So this is the trip we did, again, all B roads from the Nürburgring through, and then we went to where was it? Let me check again. I think it was, yeah, Heidelberg. All small roads, a little bit of autobahn here, but we didn't have a choice but until somewhere around here it was all B roads. Fantastic roads, amazing road trip. And as I said, we went to Heidelberg, which was another amazing town. More how to say, more tourists, more tourist trap in a way, but not really. Beautiful stuff. Something like a smaller Florence, maybe, something like that. Highly recommended again. Wonderful place. Silly faces. And then we've left for we had lunch over there, and then we've left from there, and we had our final destination for the day at where was it? Let me show you. At Rothenburg ob der Tauber. Sorry if I butchered the name. Sorry from the German guys, that obviously they are probably laughing right now at how I pronounced the village. And again, very, very special place. Wonderful, very small village, very beautiful. And some people might recognize this, so or you might have seen that on my social media. So what that is from, this is the place where legend goes, because it is not confirmed, And when they asked the old developer of the old game that I'm about to tell you, he said that no, it's just a coincidence. It's a coincidence that it's too close to, to be just a coincidence. But legend goes that this is the town and place that is the same inside the very old graphic adventure Monkey Island. This is, showing me your age without telling me your age, from the 80s, I think. The old graphic adventure on Amstrad, Spectrums, Commodores, one of the most famous, and still, if you have the opportunity to play it, you can still find it also for mobile devices. Very, very nice gaming experience, wonderful humor, great gaming experience for people that like adventure games. And this place is pretty much the same. Yeah, I had to do the photo there. As I said, wonderful place, really beautiful. Lots of lots of meat. We had to take the photo, and we had to take the photo because, once again, if you go to South Germany on small villages like that, make sure to arrive before 7 o'clock for dinner. Because if you arrive like at 8 o'clock for dinner, you go into the restaurants, and there were plenty, and everybody tells you, oh, the kitchen is closed only for drinking. And so we ended up, even though we really wanted to, taste some proper typical German cuisine, we ended up into a kebab restaurant. And we ate there. There was no other way to have dinner. Luckily for us, it was really good, very clean, very, very tasty. But we wanted some proper German food, and we weren't able to get some because we arrived at 8 o'clock in the evening. 8 o'clock, everything goes the kitchens were closing. Anyway, I cannot explain that. Mediterranean, we keep on eating until 11 o'clock. The kitchen closes at around 11 or midnight in the most tourist places, or even later than that. So anyway, what else? Right, so next day, so next day we started from there, from Nurburgring, and again some B roads, and we were going downwards. Let me see, it doesn't show everything, so I'm not so sorry about that. Nope, so it doesn't show everything here, but as usual we wanted to go straight and not go through Switzerland. And in the end we ended up somewhere around here, okay, and we were very close to Stelvio Pass. You might have known Stelvio Pass. Sorry, that's not this. Yes, Stelvio Pass over here. You might have known Stelvio Pass from the Grand Tour or Top Gear, videos and stuff like that. And we were going through there. We had already done something like 2,700 kilometers, and we were like, all right, this is the situation. So what do? It's the final boss, We went to the Nurburgring, we lapped the Nurburgring GP in the wet, we lapped the Nordschleife in the wet, we went through all the B roads through the romantic Strasse, and of course we see the Alps and Stelvio Pass with the snow and the clouds and everything. And we're like, yes, we are in two Miatas with no traction control, no ESP, and no semi-slick old tires. when this occasion will happen again. Let's go! And so we decide to climb the Stelvio Pass. And up we go. Of course, in the meantime, some amazing places and lakes and all that stuff. I don't remember the lake through the roads, but up we go. Luckily for us, weather starts to get better as we are climbing. Of course, you see always Alfredo cars because he was in front of me. Some amazing photos. We had to go up here, guys. I'm not kidding you. Actually, up here, it's that high. All right. So up we go, and up we go, and up we go. And at some point, we have you have no trees anymore because you go over 2,000 meters. And you're still going up. And do you see all these roads over here? You have to go up over there. You have to go through all of this. Okay. And in the end, up there, it's 2,760 meters, something like that. So here we are. It's very cold. We are not prepared for such cold. So we have quite a bit of cold. But, you know, again, who cares? And here are some photos from the cars. Yeah, and of course we were top down because why not? Exactly as Bjorn says, the 1.6 had some work to do. Up there at almost 3,000 meters, first gear into the hairpins could not spin the tires. First gear, we were like all the accelerator down, getting out of the hairpin in first gear, and the engine was like, we had trouble to go into the limiter in the second gear. Poor 1.6, but you know, we made it. So let me show you some extra photos, and after that, you know, you have to go down. And when you're going, actually, let me check. Yeah, this is the view from up here. Amazing stuff. And this is the Disney princess moment from for my son. He was like, I was there taking photos, and those little birds started to come around me, and I was like, maybe they they wanted to eat something, so just go away, you know. So amazing photos, really high altitude. But the downhill was even more beautiful. So down we go. From the other side, because you arrive from one side and you go downhill from the other side. This is practically an advertisement photo for the Luisi wheels. I have to send them this and tell them, you know what, next wheel or whatever you have to send me for free because this is advertising. Look at that, amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. I mean, look at this photo. And after, you know, almost 3,000 kilometers, looking all those panoramas, it's just priceless, you know, priceless. It's priceless. I mean, how better can it get, right? Look at this. And again, it gets better and better and better. Even if you go more down, it gets better and better. Water going down, stuff like that. I mean, amazing. Amazing. And finally, you know, we arrived at a point where Fernando had to go towards Milan, and I had to go towards Brescia. So we stopped for the last photo. This is somewhere around 2,800 something kilometers of road trip already. Amazing, but still But still, at the very end of the trip, we had something like 150 kilometers to go, and at the very end, yeah, here I think. At the very end, the navigator says there is some accident through the road, and there is a road you can take that it's gonna save you like half an hour, something like that. So we were like here, I think, somewhere. Okay, yeah, somewhere around here. It says, you know what? You should go down like this normally, but there is an accident around here. Okay, so you should go down from here like that, and then go here, and arrive to Iseo Lake. But somewhere around here there is an accident, and if you turn around here, you're gonna do 30 minutes less time. So I'm like, yeah, why not? But the name of the road was, was familiar. It was Pass of Montirolo, something like that, and it was familiar to me. So I'm like, I'm not sure we're doing correctly, And instantly, as we go through there, the road is so narrow. I'll show you. Yeah, terrible quality, but doesn't matter. So narrow.
So, after 3,000 kilometers, going from Italy to the Nurburgring, lapping, local roads and everything, getting back, we also went up to the Stelvio, because why not? And of course, like, 1.5 hours away from home, some problem, some accident into the roads, and the navigator says, you have to do the Pass of Montirolo. It's faster. So why not? Let's do the Pass of Montirolo, because we didn't have enough driving on the Miata. Let's go!
I'm so stupid. So yeah, so that's the road we did to finally arrive home, and you can see the road here. This thing over here, it goes up the mountains over here, and you go up to 2,000 meters altimeter again, and then go back down again. Yeah, so we did that as well, and we finally managed to get back to Brescia. Let me check if there is anything. I mean, but it was worth it. I mean, look at this. Look at this kind of road. Practically nobody was there. This road is used on Giro d'Italia. There were some bicycles, but they were very careful, and we always, actually, because we had done so many kilometers and we had enjoyed driving so much, we felt no need to push. And we were just enjoying, cruising around those wonderful turns. And we just enjoyed ourselves. And yeah, that was it. And that was the trip to Nurburgring and back. More than 3,000 kilometers in the end, 3,000 and something. As I said, for me it was one of the best, if not the best, certainly top 3 road trips ever. And it is one of the reasons why the Miata, I have to tell something about the Miatas. It is the same thing we said also with Alfredo. It is one of the reasons why the Miatas are such amazing cars. First of all, because they are very affordable. Second of all, because except incredible problems, they are extremely reliable as well. They can handle incredible amounts of abuse, and they will just keep on going and feel like as if they are new. And of course you're going to say, but Aris, you have done mods to the car and you keep on, working on it. You do that at any car, and especially if you are abusing a car. I've done the bushings. The engine is still the same. It has 180 kilometers per hour. 180,000 kilometers right now. And through the whole 3,000 kilometers, I had to add 200 milliliters of oil. That was it. 200 milliliters of oil in 3,000 kilometers, most of it close to the limiter. Actually, every time close to the limiter, because the mods I have done to the engine gets into the power torque from 4,500 revs up to 7,000 revs. So you have to keep it there. So it always works up there, and the engine is still fantastic. The gearbox is perfect. And they are such a great school to learn proper, sports driving. If you set them up properly, they show no understeer. They throw out oversteer exactly when you want, and when they do it, they are predictable. Or you can have it the other way and be extremely safe. And no coolant reverse bypass mode, because I don't have any big changes on the engine. Alfredo has done coolant bypass mode, and it has some amazing temperatures, never overheats. I mean, and it's an old car from 2001. It's 20 years old now. 20 years old cars still feel modern. Obviously not safe, because it's a Miata. I mean, you cannot pretend everything. But at the same time, you just put down the roof and you get some of most amazing experience you'll ever get from everything that road trips should be, everything that car culture should be. Get into your car, use it. Don't be afraid to explore new roads and have fun without doing crazy stuff all the time, pushing like crazy, because you can have fun with this car even at low speeds. And the only problems are consumption. You rarely go under 9 liters per 100 kilometers, old engine and all. Noise, especially if you use AliExpress tires like mine, which are extremely noisy. Probably have to get better quality tires. That's it mainly. What can I say? Another great thing, that's very important. So I've changed the bushings, and because I've changed the bushings, I had to redo the alignments and everything as usual. And I probably did a too aggressive alignment, and the car was a little bit too oversteery. And because we were going up to the Nurburgring, it's always very fast turns, I wasn't feeling very confident. So I started changing small things, like a little bit of rear ride height, a little bit of tire pressures front to back, stuff like that. So at some point I'm doing my second dry lap, and I get out, and Alfredo is like, what do you think? I'm like, this is perfect. I feel extremely confident. I could already push and so on. And I was like, it's such an amazing car and so on. And Alfredo said something very important, modesty apart from my side, but I was really happy about that. He says, Aris, you don't realize that practically you took the car, you had no time to do another alignment, because unfortunately, because of many things, I had to do the alignment at the very last week before departing for the road trip. So I had no opportunity to redo the alignment to the values I wanted. And yet, a couple of clicks, as we say, here and there, I brought the car to make it exactly as I wanted. And the things I did is the same things we're doing on the simulator practically. Nothing more, nothing less. And that from one side shows how adaptable the car is. The Miatas are just, you can make them do exactly what you want if you know what you're doing. And the other thing it also makes me happy, it's that in the end, I knew exactly what to do without wasting time to just take the car exactly where I want it to be, and it worked. And that brings again to the point that yes, the gaming simulators we use are not proper validated simulators, but we are at a point that much of the things we know, we can bring it into the real life and get acceptable results, and it's really cool, So yeah, that's it mainly. That was the trip, that was the experience. I hope you guys liked it. I don't want to. Actually, I apologize if the whole live stream feels like a little bit of a brag from my side of look what we can do, how cool we are. It's not that. What I want to show is you don't need to have expensive cars. You don't need to do and go through incredibly expensive and big amounts of money to have fun in automotive still today. It's true, everything costs more. Fuel in Germany was about 2 euros per liter, so it wasn't that easy, but with a little bit of good planning, you can still do the right trip. You can still go into very affordable hotels, into very nice villages. I mean, for example, our hotels we used during the trip was like 120 euros with a very, very big room for 3 people, or for some hotels 140 euros for 2 rooms for 3 people. So again, it's not that crazy amount. You can find cheap food, still good food to have to eat, and you can see so many things and feel free to go wherever you want, however you want, and do extra things that you normally do not do in your normal life. There is still the possibility for all of us that live into Europe. I don't know about other places, but for all of us it's still possible. Don't listen to people that you can do anything, there's no more roads, there's always traffic and so on. That is true up to a point, but there are still amazing roads out there. You can still have fun and explore those roads and places even with a Fiat Panda or I don't know, a Volkswagen Up or older Polo or whatever. It doesn't matter. All you need to do is make sure you have a reliable car that you have fixed, get a friend and go exploring. Do a little bit of beforehand organization and go exploring. And about that, for example, I found, almost forgot to talk about that, I found a great book, where else, into the famous fuel station of the Nurburgring, because that fuel station, it's not just fuel, it's a meeting place for all the car enthusiasts. It's a merchandising place with amazing stuff in there. It's a scale model collection that you can buy everything. It's mind-blowing how many scale models you can find in there. Expensive, but incredible. And it's even a library, a car library. And I found this. Actually, let me have a look at what I'm showing you. So this is a book I found over there, and it's called Lost Tracks. It was like 20 euros. And actually, Simone found it. It was like instantly grabbed it. Simone, it's making our tracks. So instantly grabbed this, and he was like, "Oh, look what I found." So I started, looking around. And it was like, "Oh, let me see if there is another copy for me to buy." And there was another copy. Luckily, there are a couple of more copies over there. And I bought that, and inside there are all the lost circuits in Germany, some amazing circuits with all the history and everything, photos, people that designed it, people that have visited them. And The author is, I have no idea. Let me check. Blah 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 blah. Let me check. It's a team of people practically. It's not just one author. So these are, I don't know who the author is, but this is all the tracks that are explained inside. And obviously you're going to say, oh, well, that's interesting, but what this has to do? Well, you know, you have a look at those tracks. Some of them were also proper roads. And my next plan is to try to find them where they are on the map. And why not go and visit them? Look at this. This is a hill climb, right? So go and visit. Some are still operating. Look at this. Grossdal. I don't even know where it is, but they all sound amazing, and they all seem to be into some great places. So once again, as I told you, you find the information. You have a look at, I mean, nowadays we have so much technology that we can find pretty much everything. And so, I mean, look at that. Look at this thing. I will just search for them and go and visit them. And if it's possible, I'll do a lap. And all that stuff is experiences, you know. One day, personal cars might not be possible anymore. And I'm not judging that. It might be even the best way, you know, because society moves on. Things change. They don't stay the same. And I'm not the old man, you know, saying, it was much better back in my days. It doesn't matter. Society changes, things changing. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that for that moment of time that I'm on this, you know, planet, in that universe, if I can enjoy the things that I like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try to do it at least. So we are all in here for the passion that we have about cars. And I don't care if it's electric or fuel or whatever. As long as I can go around and see new things in a great car, I'm gonna do it. New book. Number 1. Yeah. So this is it. Alright guys, so I think actually that would be a great idea, John. Maybe in the near future, after I have a little bit of experience of those road trips, maybe we could organize, you know, and I could propose to you guys, you know, I can get 10 people with 5 cars or 10 cars with 20 people, whatever, and guide you through a road trip. I could, you know, give you indication where to meet, where to go, what are we going to, what is it going to cost, stuff like that. And maybe we can, you know, bring together a nice company and go through a road trip into different places. It's an idea. We were thinking about it with Alfredo. Maybe someday. But for now, we're just exploring. And I did to do even more of that. All right, so that is all. I'm not gonna drive tonight. I'm a little bit tired about that. So, but what we're going to do into the next days, weeks, months. So first of all, next month I want to try this little baby again. Right? This is the 3D Wrap and Gaza wonderful pedals, also very affordable. And I want to try them again because I tried them initially. My God, this is so heavy, but also amazing quality. Initially, I tried them, and it is fantastic. Especially the accelerator has so much resolution, so precise. The clutch also is very interesting in terms of the feeling, very realistic, but you don't use the clutch that much. But the brake pedal is extremely realistic, but also extremely stiff, even on the most soft configuration is very, very stiff. It's likely more like single-seater stiff situation. And because I'm using the simulator every day so many hours, and because I'm jumping, back and forth, it's going to be a little bit, it's going to cause a little bit too much strain to my muscles and articulations if I use this kind of stiff pedal every day for like 6 hours a day or more. So I installed it, I tried it, it was amazing. I took it off and I'm still using my old pedals, but the great guys from 3D Wrap that they are producing in Gaza, they now have also a software program to configure it, and they told me that I can configure it in a way that makes it even easier to use. So I'm really looking forward with their help to try this again and see how it feels. I think probably I will keep probably my old pedals because it's much softer, and I told you I need to work with them. But for people that are trying to get best possible feel and resolution, precision, and also realism, or there are drivers, real pilots that want to train, this thing is probably amazing. And this is not promotional and stuff like that. I just think this is how it is, and the cost is also very, very close. So next week maybe I will try to try this again and see how it goes. Other thing I want to do is to train for Watkins Glen 8 hours with the Audi, because the Greek team invited me again to do the endurance race with them. It's for October, I think, mid-October something. So I need to train a little bit myself to get fast again. And oh my God, Honey Badger, thank you, mate. Thank you so much. By the way, guys, as I told you, I offered a couple of go-kart sessions to colleagues from your support to the channel. So thank you so much for that. We put it into good use. And so I want to train with the Audi, and I also want to use the Mercedes, because the Mercedes team, the real one, is actually helping me to get the car better. And we are working with the actual real drivers, Adam Christodoulou, the other guy that I know, I forget the name, sorry about that, and amazing people, and we are working together. So I need to do more laps into the Mercedes as well. And then I also want to do some GT4 racing, and possibly for the future updates to try to work a little bit on the BOP of the GT4 cars as well. So starting from this weekend, next week, whatever, and Gaza pedals, Audi practice, Mercedes practice, and it's a 24 hours. Oh my God, Audi practice for a 24 hours race. Yeah. Okay, we are gonna die, but anyway. So 24 hours race with the Audi practice, Mercedes practice, and GT4 possibly laps with you guys, with the community, into our simracing.gp races. So this is what we're gonna do. That's the program. I hope you're gonna enjoy it. A little bit of publicity for the channel. So the channel right now has arrived to almost 36,000 subscribers. 36,000 subscribers, 35,959 right now, which means that there is a possibility to gain, or at least we are close to gain 4,000 subscribers and arrive to 40,000 by the end of the year, or at least early next year. That's an amazing number. We are over 10,000 users into the Discord community as well. So big thank you guys for all the support, and I really mean it, because I also know that I am not consistent with the videos. I'm doing just one video every week. If we are lucky, sometimes week passes and I don't do any extra videos. So your support for this channel has been amazing. We are going to do absolutely another marathon this year, to make a better sim racer. I have also some ideas for next year to push the channel even more, because I think that at 40,000 subscribers, maybe I can do a Patreon. And you're gonna say, oh my god, why we have to pay? You don't have to pay. I have to understand what I can give extra on the Patreon, because what I want to do is eliminate the ads. I don't want to have ads on the videos, and not only the new videos but also the old ones. I just want to eliminate the ads and have some little support. Maybe I can do some merchandising, something like that, and support the channel from that side. Completely eliminate the ads. We don't need the ads, maybe for next year. So if we arrive to 40,000 subscribers, I will try to eliminate completely the ads and do a Patreon for whoever wants to support in other ways. That's gonna be it. So what I wanted to say, old man forgot what I wanted to say. Most important thing, thank you so much. If you have friends or whatever, or if for whatever reason you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Hit the like button, also helps to grow the channel. Let's go close to 40,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we're gonna have some amazing things to do together in the next 3 months, 4 months, something like that. Alright guys, thank you so much again. Thank you for your patience for the 3 weeks without live stream. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. I will put also chapters so that you can find the most important parts, the most interesting parts from the Nurburgring trip easier. And once again, see you on the next live stream. Take care. Good night. Right, next road trip, where should we go? Let me see, Google Map. Oh my god, I have to close the stream. Good night.